Hi batch, hi classmate, hi Ronald. Yeah, this is actually my live stream right now for my students. Okay, so I'm sorry, I have to speak again in English. How are you, batch? I hope you're doing okay. Okay, let's just wait a little bit, then I'm gonna start explaining about your grades, rather. I hope I am loud and clear. Kindly tell your classmates that I am live streaming right now, so they don't have to ask when am I going to have the live stream, because it's already ongoing right now, okay? Okay. Anyway, you can just go back and watch this live stream again, because I definitely doesn't have, I don't have any access to each one of you, so I'd rather have this kind of platform so that I'll be able to reach each one of you, and thus I'll be able to explain regarding your grades. I'm pretty much sure you have a lot of questions on what's going on with your grades, okay? So let me just open my class record for you. So technically, I just finished checking, and I just finished recording all your outputs that you have submitted. And remember that there should be 8 weeks, right? We had 8 weeks for the first quarter, meaning to say there should be 8 outputs that I am checking. And when I was checking, and it is expected that you are to complete that one if you have to have a complete or a good grade. So a part of what I'll be explaining tonight is what happens if you lack several outputs, or what happens if you only submitted a particular number of outputs and you did not complete everything, okay? And then what if you are going to fail for the first quarter, what will happen to you? Okay, so good morning everyone, welcome to my live stream, okay? So but first, before I'm going to go any further, I would like to congratulate everyone for making it this far. Anyway, congratulations for completing your first quarter, especially for those who have very good grades, okay? I know it wasn't really easy for you. I know it was quite difficult to be doing all the modules, not just on my subject, not just on oral communication, but also with the rest of the subjects that you have. I know how hard it is, but thank you so much for submitting all your outputs on time, and then for doing your best in answering the outputs, okay? So I just have simple requests, okay, that I think would be helpful for each one of us as we're going to move for the second quarter, okay? The first one is, when you're going to submit your outputs, please don't forget to write your name legibly, okay? When I say legibly, class, you have to write it in a visible manner. So I usually would check your outputs like in the middle of the night or probably early in the morning, and so the light isn't that good. So please make sure to write it clearly so that I can read it, okay? Even if you're not going to write the rest of your outputs in a clear manner, it's okay, for as long as your name is very clear, so that I won't have a hard time reading it, So the tendency next time around for the second quarter, if I cannot read your name properly, then I will not check your outputs, meaning you're going to lose the points, okay? So that's the first request that I have for you. Please write your name clearly. Second is that when you're going to, I understand that you are not submitting your outputs regularly. Say for example, for this particular week, you are supposed to submit at least maybe week 1 and 2, but you did not submit it on time. So it's okay to submit it later on. But make sure, class, if you're going to submit it, make sure that the week number is indicated in front of your paper. Okay? I have a hard time recalling or checking your papers, especially if it isn't that particular week. Okay, I hope you understand that one. And then, if you're going to arrange your papers, kindly arrange it in an ascending manner, not on a descending manner. What do I mean with descending manners? Say for example, if you have 6, week 1 to 6, so make sure what's on top is week 1, followed by week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, so on and so forth. Do not interchange it. Do not do it in the other way around. Do not do it like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? I don't like it that I don't like that kind of arrangement, because it makes me it's giving me a hard time checking it. Okay, so please have it in an ascending manner. What else? Next is, you don't have to be so fancy with your submission. When I say fancy, I'm not requiring you to have it printed, or do not be so colorful about it, or like imply some arts on it, class. Remember that I'm a language teacher, and what matters to me is, or are your answers rather, but not so much on your arts. Okay, so if you think that I am giving an extra credit if you have like ribbons there, if you have like flowers in your paper, if you have drawings there that are so bright and colorful, except if it's required on the module, but if it's just your design or for submitting your paper, I'm sorry, but I don't give extra credit for such. Okay, I repeat myself that I'm an art teacher, so it's fine with me if you are going to submit it in a plain clean paper, as long as it is readable and I'm able to see it clearly, because I'm reading it from point to point. So that's it. That's how you should submit your paper. Also, make sure that it is stapled, okay, because some of your papers are scattered from one section to the other, or it is being scattered with the rest of the papers in your section, so it's quite hard to find the next page. Okay, especially that especially that some of you did not write your name in all sheets of papers. So class, if you did not staple your paper, please write down your names to each of the pages, so that I won't have a hard time looking for the next page of your submitted paper. Okay, so make sure to do that one. Or better yet, you have to staple it, make sure that it is intact, so I won't have a hard time finding the rest of the papers that you submitted. What else do I need to remind you with? As much as if you can, class, please submit it on time so that we won't have a hard time. Okay, although I did not give you a demerit or a minus points for submitting late, it's okay with me, but please submit it on time so that it's convenient on my side to check it by week. Again, do not forget the week number. What else do I need to ask with? I've already said about your arts, your writing, etc. and etc. Okay, here's the thing. I noticed that some of your submissions are the same. Okay, probably you only have one author, or probably you just got it from the internet, or probably you just copied from your classmates. Okay, so this is how I do it, class, just to be fair with anybody, because I do not know who copied from who. I don't know who's the original author, or who's the original source of the answers. So in as much as you can, I do not encourage you to share your answers to your classmates, or if you're going to copy from the internet, please rephrase it so that when somebody else copied it, it would not look as if you have only one source, or it would not appear that you just copied or somebody copied your work. Okay, I hope you understand that one. So this is how I check your paper. Say for example, there are 2 or 3 papers that has the same answer. Whoever I'm going to check first, then that's the paper that I'm going to give a good grade. The rest of the papers which has the same content as the first one that I've checked, I already give demerit. Okay, so the disadvantage there is that if you are the source of the answers, and then I was able to read your paper the last, so that means I already gave demerit to your paper. So that's unfair on your side, but that I think is fair on my side, because I don't know who copied from who, as what I've said earlier, and that is academic dishonesty. I don't want you to be dishonest with your answers. I am not looking for a perfect answer, but technically I am looking for answers that are really yours, and that is actually coming from here. Okay, that's how I measure learning. So you cannot impress me with flamboyant words or with really good text because you got it from the internet. You, what do you call this one, you have it printed. That is not such a thing. Okay, so again, for next quarter, I hope you are not going to share your answers to anybody. You do not share the source where you get your answers, because that is considered as copying, or that is considered as, you know, fraud. What how do you say that? Yeah, that's considered a crime in academic activities. Okay, so that's how I do it. So make sure, do not copy or do not let anybody copy, because that's how I check. Whoever is the first source, or whoever is the first paper that I read, then that's that's whom I'm going to give a good grade. But for the rest, if you have the same answers, then I already give demerits or minus points to that particular other papers. Okay, what else? What else I need? Okay, let me just remind you, class, that it doesn't mean to say that if you have completed or if you submitted 8 weeks or 8 outputs, automatically you already have a good grade, or you already pass, or you already have or you will get a grade of 90 and up. It's not an assurance, I'm telling you. Why? Because it's not just about the quantity of your paper, but it's more on the quality of your paper. What do I mean with that one? It doesn't matter. Of course, I'm not telling you not to submit all 8 outputs, okay? But this is how I want you to understand the scenario. Say, for example, if you submitted 8 outputs, but in each output, it requires you to have at least 2 or 3 activities. But in each output, you only answered at least one activity. But of course, that doesn't give you a very good grade at all. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say it should not just be quality. I mean, it should not just be about quantity or total numbers of your output, but there should also be quality, because I am reading your papers. We teachers are checking your papers. I mean, every single paper or every single outputs that you submit each week, we are actually checking that one word for, not really word for word, but we are reading it text by text. Okay, so make sure to submit all 8 outputs on the second quarter, but also do not leave any other activities, or do not leave any activities unanswered, because if you are trying to trick me, yeah, maybe you're thinking that it's okay not to answer activity 1 or not to answer this particular activity because Sir George will not check it in anyway. Probably he's just going to count how many outputs do we have. Well, then that is wrong, because we are actually checking it. I am actually checking it paper by paper, checking if all the activities are answered. Okay, now what do I mean when I say quality? Even if you answered all the activities, class, but your answers are correct, but your answers are not correct, and if your answers probably lacks the substance, or if your answers doesn't have any thought, or it's pretty much obvious that you just copied it from an internet source, then do not expect that I'm going to give you a good grade. Okay, especially on the parts where it requires you to write an essay, because an essay class doesn't have to be very short. An essay doesn't have to be just 1 or 2 sentences and that's it. An essay at least could be of a good length. Okay, it should at least be long enough to be considered as an essay. Okay, and of course an essay doesn't just have to be written without a substance or without a meaning. Okay, so I'm also checking on that factor. So make sure that when you're going to answer your activities in the future for the second quarter, make sure to complete it and make sure to give all your time, energy, effort in answering those, because once I can sense that you are actually doing it right, okay, then I'm going to give you a good score in that sense. Okay, so please, for the second quarter, I'm encouraging you not to submit an incomplete output. When I say incomplete, it doesn't have to be about just the number or the total number of outputs, but incomplete would mean do not submit to me activities that are left unanswered, because it would surely affect your grades. Okay? So just give me a minute. I'm just gonna do something with my dogs. They're kind of noisy. Okay, so what else do I need to remind you with? Okay, your outputs. So this is how I computed your grades. There are actually two factors. One is the written works and another one is the performance task. Okay, so I divided your outputs into 2 categories. A particular number of outputs is good for your written works, and the other half would have to be for your performance task. So what about those postings on FB? What about those things that we did online? Well, that's also part of the grade, and I already give everyone a perfect score for that one. Okay, so you have nothing to worry about. So this, what I'm telling you right now are basically those 8 outputs that you have submitted to me. Okay, so I noticed that there were some of you who literally did not submit anything. I'm not gonna mention who you are, but I think you are basically aware of who am I talking with, right? Or who am I referring with as to who are the students who did not submit anything. I don't know if you have taken this in another school, if you're a transferee student here in our school, but 0 outputs would literally automatically would mean you are going to fail in my class. So no more question with that one. If you did not submit anything, that's automatic 70 on your grade. So can we still do something about it? Not anymore, because the deadline for your outputs for the first quarter is over, and it's already a rule that once you did not submit on time, because we have given you 1 week leeway after the deadline. Remember, I think your advisors were able to discuss the rule with you, that there is a leeway of 1 week after the deadline. So that leeway has already expired. It's over. So I will not accept any more outputs for the first quarter. So if you did not submit anything, that's not my fault, and I can already give you a grade of 70. So that's a failing grade. But anywho, on the second quarter, you have to make sure that you are going to get at least a grade of 80, because 70 plus 80, that would give you at least a grade of 75 for the first semester, and that would qualify you, or that would allow you to pass in my subject. But if you're not going to change, and if you're not going to submit again anything on the second quarter, then of course I can give you again a grade of 70, and that would mean that we have to see each other again next year. Okay, now if you are going to get a grade of 75 for the second quarter, that would also mean that you are going to fail in the first semester. Remember that in every semester there are 2 quarters, the first and the second quarter. And your grades in the first and second quarter will be added together and divided by 2, and that's going to be your semester grade. So if you get a grade of 70, and if you are going to get a grade of 75 in the second quarter, that would not qualify you to to pass oral communication subject, because it would be at least 74 or 73. So it still is a failing grade. Remember that the passing grade is 75. No more, no less. Okay? So you have to take note of that one. Now, there are also some of you who actually submitted only 1 or 2 or 3 outputs, meaning to say you did not complete the 8 outputs. So what happened? Well, here comes the thing. If you have an incomplete output, so this is what I'm talking about, even if you submitted only 3 outputs or 4 outputs, but then again, the quality is good, okay? I give you a very good score just for you to pass. So if you submitted at least 4 or 3 outputs and you think that you have an awesome answer there, do not expect that you are going to get a grade of, of 90 or a very, very high grade. It's not possible, because remember, it's only 3 or 4, so you lack the other half. Although if I'm going to give you a perfect score for each of the outputs that you have submitted, then it would still not be sufficient. It would not suffice to the standards of the grade. So probably if you lack some outputs, you are still going to pass, but the grade isn't that good. So if you are the one expecting for a very high grade, or for a very for a very good grade, and you did not complete the 8 outputs, so it's not possible. Okay, now what happens if you submitted all the outputs? Well, then good. If you submitted all the 8 outputs, then you are very safe. But again, it's not just about the quantity, but more so on the quality. Even if you submitted all the 8 outputs, but the answers are wrong, okay? What do you call this one? The essays were just so short. What else? I wasn't able to read everything because your penmanship is quite messy like mine. So those are some of the factors that I had and of course, as what I've said, if I realized that your answers were copied from somebody else, it's already repeated from the answer of your classmates or from another source, then definitely I gave you low scores for that one. Okay? So, but then again, if you submitted all your outputs and it's all original, it's all your work, don't worry, you have nothing to worry about, because I actually have given very high grades for those that are deserving. I think I have given as high as like 96, okay, for this first quarter. But I'm not gonna tell you through this live stream who are those students, but you will just know who are you after you are going to receive your grades. Okay, what else do I need to remind you with? Okay, so what else? Just give me a minute. Okay, so sir, is there any students that failed in oral communication for this first semester? I mean, for this first quarter? The answer is yes, of course. I told you. Those were the conditions, those were the standards, or those were the reasons why a student would fail. So if you think that you are one of those that did not submit a complete output, that you just submitted an incomplete output, or you missed some of the activities, then automatically do not expect that you are going to pass, or better yet, do not expect for a very good grade in that sense. Okay, now before I'm going to go any further, if you have any questions regarding your grades or just anything about the subject, so make sure to type in your questions on the chat box so that I can answer it right now. Okay, what else do I need to remind you with? grades, outputs. Oh, before I forget, some of you were asking regarding the WHLP and the modules for second quarter, right? Because I think you've noticed it that in the WHP it's written there that it's a first quarter activity. I mean, there's a first quarter thing that's written on top of the WHPs that I have sent you. So this is the explanation class. That WHLP happens to be a generic WHLP, meaning to say it's coming from the Department of Education. And if there is a typographical error, if there's a typing error there or text error, just let it pass. Okay, it's not a big deal. That's why I've said, I've told you in the GC that just ignore it, but what you need to do is just to match what's written on your WHLP with the lessons in your workbook, because they are actually fitted to one another. Even if it's written there quarter one, just disregard the thing quarter one. Just always remember that those things, those WHLPs that I have sent you in our GC happens to be for quarter two. Okay, so just look into your modules and check the activities and check the your weekly home learning plan. Check it and then match the activities that's mentioned in each of the text from your learning plan and your modules. Okay, so you have nothing to worry about. And again, please indicate in your papers as to the number of weeks that you are going to answer your modules. Great. So what else do I need? Do you have any questions, people? Those that are watching right now, if you have any questions, please type it in so that I can answer it. Oh, so for this quarter class, everything would have to be final. Meaning to say, once I submitted your grades to your advisor, there is no changing of your grades. Okay? So, if you happen to fail on the first quarter, and if you doubt, and if you cannot accept that I failed you on the first quarter, you can see me, and I will I'm going to let you look at your papers and my class record, but make sure you have the evidences. Okay, make sure that you have a copy or a picture of all your outputs. Do not come to me simply because you think that you deserve better grades, but yet you know exactly that you lack some outputs and you did not answer some of the activities and you did not completely answer your modules. Okay, because I would probably be pissed off if you're gonna do that one. But if you have the evidences that you have answered all the modules and you have answered all the activities and you have completed all the 8 outputs, but yet you're not satisfied with your grade, then you can come and see me on a particular day that I am reporting to the school so that we can discuss it. But other than that one, I'm so sorry because I could not change anything about your grade, although I have already stretched out. Okay, what do I mean when I've already stretched out your grades? It means that I actually have given 3 points just to be able to save all that are hanging with their grades. Okay, say for example, in my computation, it turned out that your grade is like 73 or 74, right? So what I did is just I have given 3 points so that your grade would what's the term? Would increase and would improve from 72 or 73 or 74 to like 75 or 76. But okay, once I give 3 points to somebody, rest assured I have given it to the rest of the class. So even if your grades turn out to be already good, let's say for example you already have a grade of 85, but since I have given 3 points to somebody who is about to fail, I also give 3 points to you that has a grade of 85. So from a grade of 85 originally, your grade would probably boost up to like 87, 88, so on and so forth. Okay? So just to be fair with everyone, I have given 3 points to all of you. So just to make sure that at least nobody's going to fail, or at least you have a very good grade. But again, the only reason that you are going to fail if you did not submit anything, or if you submitted only 1 or 2 outputs plus the quality of your outputs. That's the real score. Okay, when you are part of those people that I have mentioned, or if you have done any of those things that I have mentioned earlier, then expect that you are really going to fail in the first quarter. Okay, sir, what if I fail in the first quarter? Would there still be a chance for me to pass? Of course, right? This is just first quarter. Do not commit suicide yet if you're going to fail in my subject or any of your subjects class, because you still have a long way to go. Okay, we are just starting with our second quarter. Now, make sure again to submit all your outputs for the second quarter, and make sure it's of a good quality already. Do not miss any activity so that you can get a grade of 80 and up. So once you can get a grade of 80 and above on the second quarter, you are safe and you are going to pass my subject, because that would give you a grade of, again, semester grade rather, of 75 and up probably. Okay, so aim for higher grades on the second quarter. Okay, what else do I need to remind you with? Any questions? Come on, ask questions. Ask questions, people. Oh, by the way, I realized that in a particular section there happens to be siblings, right? You maybe have a brother or a sister in your section, and even if you are siblings, that doesn't mean to say that you are going to have the same grade. Okay, because once I check your output class, even if you are siblings or even if you are twins, I give different points. Okay, because again, it's based on the quality of the output. It's based on your answers. But sir, we have the same answers. Even if you have the same answer as what I've told you, whoever I read first, that's whom I'm going to give a good score. But for those that I'm going to read later on or after the first source, then I'm going to give the merits. Okay, so do not expect that if you're siblings and you have the same answers, you have the same grade, right? That's very seldom to happen. Okay, Duki, I don't know when are you. I think the PTA would have to be on the 29th down to December 3rd. So by then you can see your grades. Sir, can we actually see our grades in advance? Before class, I used to let my students see their grades in advance, so that if there's still something that they need to comply with, or if there's something else that we can do so that they can augment or they can improve their grades, then they still have time. But since this is pandemic, we are not allowed to do that one. Okay, and we have I have no way of letting you see each of your grades, but only through a live stream like this or through a Facebook. But my goodness, it's gonna be so tasking and tiring if I'm going to send your grades to each one of you. Okay, so that's why your grades might come as a surprise. It might be a good or a bad surprise to you later on. But you know exactly your performance, right? You know exactly if you deserve the grade that you will get on my subject or not. Again, if you have doubts, if you have questions, you are free to ask me. But make sure you are armed with your evidences. Okay, make sure that you know exactly what you are fighting for and what you are trying to complain with regarding your grades. Because once this one is submitted to your advisor, I cannot change it, or I cannot adjust it anymore. I might have some adjustments, okay? Say for example, I found out that, yeah, you are right. There are some papers probably that I have missed checking, or there are some things that I have not done, then I might have a negotiation with you that I'm going to do the adjustments on the second quarter. Say for example, if I've given you a grade of 80 and you're not satisfied of a grade of 80, then I cannot change that one anymore. I might just add the remaining points on the second quarter. So rest assured that you are going to have a higher grades on the second quarter, if proven that there is some mistakes or if I missed checking something. Okay, that's a case-to-case basis. But I am 95% sure that these grades are deserving to my students because I have checked all the outputs coming from your advisors, not unless if there are some missing outputs. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned with, I have all the outputs intact, and these are actually coming from your advisors personally. Okay. Questions. So, how are you, class? I mean, like, how is it being students in oral communication? It's funny, right? Because our subject is oral communication, but we don't have time to practice. We don't even like talk personally. When there was like a face-to-face, usually give my students an opportunity to talk so that they could really practice the language in terms of communicating with me or communicating with other people, such as the other teachers. Okay, but this time around it's quite impossible because you just have to really write and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, I hope we can have the face-to-face session the soonest possible time, so that we could, you could really practice speaking in English. And of course, the rule is that this is already second quarter. I will not answer any questions that are in Filipino, be it a personal message or in our GC. I will not answer that one, but you have to somehow have your questions and your communication with me in English so that you could really at least practice. Okay, just maybe on the way how we communicate in our GC or through our personal messages, that you have the opportunity to talk in English. So please do so, class, because once your questions are not in English, then rest assured I'm not gonna answer that one. Okay, because that's the rule. You could at least practice. Okay, so I think I have said enough, and I have said too much. Not unless if you have any other questions regarding the activities, regarding regarding the modules and all that stuff. By the way, class, if you are having a hard time, say for example there would be a particular lesson that you do not understand and you are having a hard time grasping or understanding with, feel free to message me in our GC. Then I'm going to do another live stream like this, and I'm going to discuss the lesson and the activities for your convenience. Okay, it's gonna be part of my responsibility as a teacher to make sure that you do understand everything in the module. So please don't be shy, don't hesitate to tell me if you do not understand the lessons in your modules, or if you have difficulty understanding those. Okay, just message me, and then I'm gonna do a live stream for everyone so that it's gonna be convenient on your part to answer your modules correctly. Okay, what else? So far, oh, I'm just gonna randomly tell you how many people failed in each section. Okay, but I'm not gonna tell you who those students are, right? I'm not gonna tell you that one. I'm not going to divulge any name, but I'm just gonna tell you how many, so that at least you could have an idea if you are going to be one of those. Okay, let me start with Benetes. Let me see, how many people failed in Benetes? In Benetes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then it's 11, 12. Okay, there are 12 people who failed in Benetis. 12. And after Benetis, let's go to Cabezas. Let me check. In Cabezas, these are, okay, how many? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. Oh, sorry. That's up. Okay. Where am I? That's 9, 10, 11. Okay. Cabezas, there are only 11 who failed. Wow. Come on. What's going on with my phone? Why are you not sending? Oh, sorry. Okay, after Cabezas, we'll have Inocencio. Let me check. So in Inocencio, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, just 16 people. So there are 16 people who failed in Inocencio. In Laliana, let me check with the Laliana. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, just 10 people in Laliana. And lastly, in Logro, okay, in Logro you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in Logro, there are only 8. Okay. So by the way, Cabezas, I will no longer your teacher for the second quarter. You will be transferred to another teacher. You might be asking why, because there has been a change of schedule and it's not feasible anymore for me to handle the class. Okay, it's not anymore. What's the term? It's not possible for me to handle your section already because I'm given another task. So for second quarter, you are going to have a new teacher, okay? And your next teacher is as well very, very good, and she's a very nice teacher. So you have nothing to worry about. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my live stream tonight. And if you are new in my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, okay? Share my channel and like the videos about my dogs and all that stuff, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. So I think I have nothing else to tell you. I have already mentioned all the concerns that I need to tell you and I need to inform you with. So I just hope, class, that for this second quarter you are going to do better, because once you do that, even if there's no face-to-face classes yet, you are still going to get a good grade. It still is very possible, because as a teacher, I could definitely know if you are working hard or if you are just submitting simply because you know exactly that as a student you have to submit all these outputs. I am more on the quality, okay, as a teacher. That's why even if it's already very late, I do a sacrifice of reading all your outputs just to be fair with everyone who are actually doing it right. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns regarding our subject, all your questions should be through our GC, and please do not PM me if it's not really that important, if it's not really that sensitive. Just message me in our GC class, and if I do not reply to certain questions that you have given, that means I have already answered that one in the past, and probably because you are not stating your questions in English, which is actually a rule that I have in my class. Okay, Rainiel, I'm very nervous about my grade. Don't be nervous. If you know exactly that you have submitted all the outputs and you know that you have done all the activities, you have nothing to worry about. Don't get nervous, okay? Just be assured that you are actually getting a good grade. Okay. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is learning and enjoying and having fun answering your modules. I know it's difficult, it's hard, but there's nothing we can do about it right now because that's what the circumstances is asking. So we just have to deal with it. After all, we're pretty much sure that everything will come to pass. Everything will just be finished about COVID. But what is important is that you continue your education no matter what happens, right? I don't know what else to say. Come on, ask me questions. Ask questions. So if you happen to know some of your classmates and they have questions and they might, especially if they have complaints or something, tell them to watch this live, because some of the questions might be answered already through this live of mine and I don't need to answer it personally. If you want to talk to me personally, class, I'm reporting in our school at least twice each week. So I usually in the school like Monday and Friday, or if it's really an urgent matter, so you can just send me a PM and set a definite schedule where you want to see me, or what time would you like to talk to me. So not anywhere else but in the school, okay? So yeah, and as long as it's just about school matters, no problem. Okay, so yeah, pretty much I have said what I need to tell you tonight. I'm just so happy that I was able to finish everything on time, because by Tuesday is the deadline of set by our I'm tired. By Tuesday, it's gonna be our schedule to submit your grades to your advisor. So by then, you can already check your grades through your advisor. And then once again, thank you so much for submitting all your outputs. I hope you're gonna follow all those instructions that I have given at the start of this live stream, so that please help me to have convenience in checking your paper for the next quarter, because it's not easy to be checking so many papers. Remember, I'm handling 8 sections this semester, and you are about more than 50 students per section. So that's like at least 400 or so. So that's the total number of papers that I'm checking each week, or probably, you know, a ton. I mean, other than that one, it doesn't have to be just one, what do you call this one page, right? Because some of you are submitting like 8 or 10 pages. So I have to read everything just to make sure that I am giving the right points and the right grades to the students. So in as much as I want to know you personally, in as much as I want to see you personally, that's not possible. But I just technically rely on my gut and on the outputs that you have submitted class when I give my grades. So when I see that you are actually doing it right, so you deserve the grade that I'm going to give you. When to get the card, sir? The schedule for the PTA would have to be from November 29 up to December 3rd. So by strand, there's a particular schedule. So you just ask your advisor when will be your schedule. I do not know about UMS because I am from the TBL department. So you ask your advisor, and then when they're gonna tell you to get it on a particular schedule, then go and get it, and you know, celebrate that you have triumph and you have successfully finished first quarter. So there's still second quarter and second semester to follow. There's still a lot of work to do. Okay. Any other questions? So it's already late. It's already 10:46. And I still have other things to do. So I'm not gonna hold you long. You can now leave my live stream. And once again, thank you so much for being with me. And tell your classmates to watch this live stream so that they can be updated of their grades, as well as just in case they have any other questions. And again, don't forget to subscribe and share and like my videos, okay? Ciao. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. You may now go to sleep. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you personally when it's possible. Oh, TVL. We're gonna be on Friday. That's gonna be December 3rd. We will be the last strand to have the PTA or the distribution of the cards. So that's gonna be December 3rd. So you just ask your advisor what will be the schedule or the time of your PTA, because I think it's gonna be on the morning. I'm not sure. Just ask your advisor, okay? What I'm sure is that it's gonna be on a Friday. It's gonna be on the 3rd of December. Okay, so if you have no more questions, thank you so much. Thank you. Good night. Be safe, everyone, okay? Be safe. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow is Sunday. Make sure to go to church tomorrow, okay? Pray and give thanks to the Lord that you have finished your first semester. First quarter rather. I'm already tired. Okay. Again, if you have questions, don't forget to type in or to ask me. Send me a PM, okay? At least I'm done computing the grades. Now I can sleep. Oh, I should have watched it. But anywho, I'm a little tired. Good night. See ya. Bye-bye.